Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Welcome back to the 10th anniversary weekend where we are running hot. The Oilers are in a huge mess. The NHL in Canada seems to be upside down. The Toronto Maple Leafs just beat the Calgary Flames in a hard-fought 5-4 shootout, and there is a whole bunch of fallout coming from that with Nikita Zadorov, requesting a trade as per his agent to Kevin Weeks. Friends, we'll discuss all of that and how that contains to the Edmonton Oilers situation. Pertains would be the actual correct word in just a moment. But again, if you are new to the channel, just 1 second to say, please hit that subscribe button if you can. I know lots of you watch on TV back home or on tablets and stuff, and it's a little more tricky. But if you would be able to do that for me, that'd be greatly appreciated, as we have just pushed past 13,000. All right, friends, what do we know? Nikita Zadorov has requested a trade. This in from Kevin Weeks 12 minutes ago, fresh off a goal and a big hit tonight against the Toronto Maple Leafs. That big hit, by the way, is pictured. Told that Zadorov, through his agent, Dan Milstein, has requested a trade from the Calgary Flames. Now, friends, we know one thing. The San Jose Sharks are the worst team in the NHL. Just kidding, so are the Edmonton Oilers. But when it comes to being the next worst dumpster fire, it's the Calgary Flames this season. And well, you know what? Those dominoes are falling. We don't have any Connor McDavid trade requests or anything yet. So let's talk about the Calgary Flames, because the Oilers, I'm talking to you, promising huge changes, big trades, things coming down the pipe. Do you see what I see here? Do you see what the Oilers could potentially figure out here? Now, out there in the trade market, there is another team with just as little leverage as us. My goodness, how exciting is that, friends? That is absolutely huge. And just to give you an idea on Nikita Zadorov, by the way, too, he's got a $3.75 million cap hit. So all of a sudden you go back to Elliot Friedman, Jeff Merrick earlier this week joking about a trade between the Oilers and Flames, more or less going over, yeah, there's something that could be there, likely not, whatever. Well, now, if Ken Holland ain't picking up the phone and saying, hey, Craig Conroy, love what you did in your playing career. You want to do some good work in your GM career? Well, let's get it started with a bang. Let's make a trade. Battle of Alberta only happened twice or 3 times before. Let's go out there and get this done. And obviously, too, we know about how Dan Vladar has started the season. We know that they're looking to maybe move on from him, give Dustin Wolf the backup job for the time being, and properly train him to be an NHL goalie, unlike what we did with Stuart Skinner. Well, okay, all right, here we go, friends. Suddenly, there is a ton of room to make this move. And, I mean, you need no more go than here, I guess you could say. Nikita Zadorov, why am I interested? Why do I want this guy? Left-hand shot, 6'6", and a 28-year-old. Oh, my goodness, that is, woo, I would take that all day. 6'6" on the defense. I don't know. Yeah, I know we've got Darnell Nurse. Yeah, I know we've got Matthias Ekholm, but our third option is Brett Kulak. Ooh, boy, we could use a little tradey poo there to get rid of Brett Kulak or keep Brett Kulak, whatever you want to do. I don't really know. Kulak back to the Flames, that could be a thing. But I'm not worried about trade package. I'm just saying the fit is there because Nikita Zadorov, he's big, hits like a truck, he's physical, and he's a nasty guy to play against. And when it comes to the Oilers defense, there's a lot of things that they are, and nasty and hard to play against this season has not been one of them. So, come on now, let's look at it. Mathematically making sense here that you could work out a trade with the Calgary Flames. Now, why do you want Zadorov? Scored a goal tonight, by the way, so he's actually got 5 points on the year. 12 games played, 12 penalty minutes, but you look at the penalty minutes over the course of his career, the guy goes out there and makes you earn your spot on the ice, let me tell you that much. And obviously, too, he's been in with Calgary Flames for the better part of the past 2.5 years. Well, he played a year for the Chicago Blackhawks, played in Colorado for 5, and then was also a member of the Buffalo Sabres to start out when they were absolutely toiling in the basement there. Oh, by the way, that Connor McDavid draft season where we won that. We won that. Not that it's paying off dividends this year, but don't mind me. Yeah, you know what? A guy, too, that you don't need to play a ton. He averages 18 to 19 minutes a night. So another guy that could reduce those minutes, and you could rotate Nurse, Ekholm, and, of course, Zadorov on the left side almost perfectly. Nurse at 21, Ekholm at 21, and Zadorov at 18, you've got your left side covered for 60 minutes a night. That's some pretty good math right there, Tice. Good work on a Friday night. Proud of you, bud. But you get where I'm going, friends. This absolutely makes sense from an Edmonton Oilers perspective. From a Calgary Flames perspective, do you want to trade a guy that gave you no leverage to the Edmonton Oilers, who are hurting bad for a guy like him and could potentially really rob you of line in this trade, or else it's just a complete wash? Probably not. You don't want to give the other team in Alberta that's struggling a leg up, and that's exactly what this would be for the Edmonton Oilers if Ken Holland could pull off the trade. But again, it's a lot of fantasy land, and that is why I say the Edmonton Oilers need to be all over this, not the Edmonton Oilers will be all over this, because the Edmonton Oilers are in the situation they're in. The Calgary Flames are in the situation they're in. It's the Battle of Alberta, even off the ice when it comes to the general manager's chair, and I doubt both teams are looking to give each other something that could potentially hurt themselves come playoff time if both teams somehow miraculously turn it around. I'd love to say Calgary more than us, but oh no, I don't think that's necessarily the case this year, friends. Woof. Bad start to the year. But again, right, I think it makes sense. That's really the basis of the argument. He requests a trade. There's another team in Alberta, just like us, with a lack of leverage when it comes to making a deal on somebody that clearly is not panning out there or doesn't want to be there in Zadorov's case. And well, end of the day, you know, the Oilers have some guys that they don't want around either. Jack Campbell. You could potentially make it bigger, like I said, with Dan Vladar involved and really make a mess of it. And that would be really interesting. It would almost actually be a straight dollar swap, if I'm not mistaken. Zadorov and Kulak and Vladar and Campbell. You could even almost work in some retention there on Campbell, I'm sure, and actually make the dollars work pretty well for the Edmonton Oilers. So that could be an interesting option. And I again say, you know what, if we're going to look at making a trade first, you gotta look at this, because this just crops up on a Friday night just in time to get you situated for what could be a huge game tomorrow against the Seattle Kraken, one way or the other, in which Ken Holland, Jay Woodcroft, if you lose, unlikely to still have jobs by night's end. So we'll look what happens here in the next little bit, friends. But again, it's just where we're at. It's a terrible situation. I'm trying to be a little bit more straightforward, a little less angry today, and I think it's been working quite well. But as we currently sit, the Oilers have a lot to consider, and this has got to be one of those things. Friends, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. Again, thank you for being aboard. It is the 10th anniversary weekend here on the channel, and I really do appreciate the support we have seen of late, because obviously it's been a mess here for Oilers fans, but obviously too, we're kind of coping all together with it. Friends, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. Have yourself a great rest of your Friday night. I am up on out of here.